Hello and welcome to Sports Tower Talk. I'm your host, Elijah Liola. Today we are continuing our team mock drafts for the AFC South Division, and today our focus will shift to the Indianapolis Colts, who started off hot on the 2025 season with Daniel Jones playing like an MVP early in the season and running back Jonathan Taylor, who was performing at his best since 2022. But things turned for the worse. Daniel Jones suffered a torn Achilles early in the second half of the season, and the Colts missed their chance at the playoffs and a shot at winning their division. Coming to this offseason and the draft with so close, they'll be looking and retooling their roster and applying what worked from last year into this year. But first, let's take a look at what the Colts did back in free agency to address the necessary concerns. As of right now, currently, the Indianapolis Colts are sitting over $26 million in free cap space. So far, what they did this offseason was they were able to re-sign Daniel Jones to a 2-year contract and bring back wide receiver Alec Pierce to a massive 4-year, $114 million contract. As for the defense, they did address the edge position in getting Arden Key in a 2-year deal and trading for defensive tackle Colby Wooden in exchange for linebacker Zaire Franklin. Quite frankly, the Colts have not done enough to address the concerns, so they are looking towards the draft to finish the rest of the needs. But the signings that they made through this free agency does answer some questions on the defensive side and some stability on the offense. During the offseason, the Indianapolis Colts lost 2 key players on their roster. On the offensive side, they lost wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. as he was traded away to the Pittsburgh Steelers along with a 7th round pick in exchange for a 6th round pick in this year's draft. Pittman then signed a 3-year extension ahead in advance. The Colts decided to stick with Alec Pierce instead of Michael Pittman Jr. for the future, so they'll be looking ahead to draft a wide receiver to address the loss of him as well. And as for the defense, they did trade away their longtime player in Zaire Franklin, who's been a mainstay at the linebacker position, and in exchange got defensive tackle Colby Wooden. Their defensive line is aging fast and they need more youth. So in the draft, they'll be also looking to address the linebacker position as well to oversee the loss of Franklin. But let's move on to see what mock draft I have set up for the Indianapolis Colts coming up for this year's draft. The Indianapolis Colts do not have a 1st round pick as they have traded that away in order to get Sauce Gardner from the New York Jets. So with the first pick for their Colts, they select Jake Golday, outside linebacker from Cincinnati, which will address the loss of Zaire Franklin. And for the next pick, Ted Hurst, who might be a steal at the 3rd round, which will really work for the Colts as he is a great option to play alongside Alec Pierce as the number 2 wide receiver. As for the remainder of the picks, the Colts will draft an offensive tackle for depth, another linebacker in Landon Burn, who is a 6'5 linebacker which is really good for them to play with size, bring another edge rusher from Wesley Williams from Duke, and use the final 2 picks to upgrade the secondary with Preston Hodge and Jalen Stroman. For this mock draft with the Colts, I have them being very methodical, using their first 2 picks to address the loss of both Pittman and Franklin. While in the middle of the draft, they are just best BPA picks, but then using the last 2 picks to address and upgrade the secondary as they had struggled towards the end of the season against the pass. But as far as that goes, I want to talk about the first 2 players in Jake Golday and Ted Hurst. At 6'4", 239 pounds, Jake Golday provides a rare size athleticism combo that has a prototypical modern NFL linebacker frame. He also shows a stout run defensive game and also has an elite range to travel from sideline to sideline. He also shows a high football IQ with processing speed to make plays quickly and get to the second level in the backfield before the offensive lineman can react. At his size, he also tackles with authority, with stopping power rather than allowing ball carriers to move forward after contact. In my opinion, Ted Hurst falling all the way down to the late 3rd round would be a steal selection for the Indianapolis Colts. With Ted Hurst standing at 6'3", 206 pounds, Coming out of college, he was one of Georgia State's most decorated running wide receivers in their history, with him being a top 5 player all time in receptions, yards, touchdowns, and more. Despite him being a taller receiver, he can sink his hips very well at the line of scrimmage and as well at the top of his routes while executing cuts and route fakes. He also has a 61.1% career contested catch rate, showing off his deep threat ability while also playing anywhere at the X, Y, or Z spots. This right here is another Alec Pierce weapon that the Colts can certainly use, giving them 2 deep threat players for Daniel Jones to throw to, while also using the running game in Jonathan Taylor to exploit the middle of the field. With a mock draft like this, the Indianapolis Colts can feel safe moving forward as they go along to try to go for another chance at winning the division. Looking back at free agency for them, they are set on Daniel Jones being their QB1, and they're just retooling the offense with the additions of Ted Hurst and the offensive tackle from Northwestern in the mock drafts. As for the defense, they upgrade the secondary and address the linebacker positions with 2 new rookies to join the list. It's not easy for the Colts to get back, especially with the division of how Jacksonville and Houston play out. But the Colts are always ready to give a fight, so my expectation for the Colts is they go out to win 9 games, or a maximum 10 at the very least, and try to make a wild card spot. If they make the wild card in the next postseason, then the Colts have definitely something to work with Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen at the helm. That's all I have time for today. Tune in for another episode on Sports Tavern Talk coming very soon today. And make sure to always like and leave a comment. Make sure to always follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and .x. And as always, I will see you next time.